Fortunately, I was able to retrieve the verse that I have cited. Mr. Speaker, I'm citing 1 Corinthians chapter 7, verse 39, which reads, and I quote, "A woman is obligated to stay in her marriage as long as her husband is alive. But if her husband dies, she is free to marry whomever she wants, only it should be believer in the Lord." So till death do us part talaga. Kailangang mamatay po yung isa para lang makapag-asawa ka pa ng iba. Salamat po, Mr. Speaker. And I think my good friend is honorable enough to accept the challenge. I accepted the challenge, and I think it is for him to withdraw his sponsorship. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Speaker, what the distinguished interpolator quoted is not the phrase "till death do us part." In fact, what he said was only with respect to the woman, not to the husband. It is here that when the husband dies, the woman can remarry. But it would be better if she does not remarry. That is completely different from "till death do us part," which is addressed to both the husband and the wife. But as I've said, death here could be physical cessation of life or a metaphor that love, respect, and tolerance in the marriage had already ceased. And there is no way of reconciling these spouses.
Mr. Speaker, I did not know that my good friend, the sponsor, is after the exact word, "till death do us part." But it was only a matter of romanticizing it, Mr. Speaker. The couple are before or is before the solemnizing priest or anyone who is in a position to celebrate the marriage. So until death do us part is to romanticize the impending relationship. But the biblical anchor is the same, Mr. Speaker. I hope my good friend could comprehend the simple import of this particular biblical passage. It is still "till death do us part." Kahit bali-baligtarin mo ito, Mr. Speaker, it cannot be interpreted in another way. I rest my case, Mr. Speaker. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your interpellation. And Mr. Speaker, even if we accept the annotation of the distinguished Marcoleta, it will not deny the fact that all Catholic countries who believe in the Bible have their own divorce laws in varying degrees of liberality. Only the Philippines and the Vatican do not have such divorce laws. Thank you again, Mr. Speaker. Thank you, distinguished Marcoleta, for your homily.
Ayan, so magandang hapon po sa inyong lahat. This is once again Daily Deck and welcome to the Deep Dive series. Of course, pag-uusapan natin ang mga nagbabagang mga issues ngayon dito sa Pilipinas at sa buong mundo. Isang mainit-init ngayon na naririnig natin sa mga news, itong divorce bill. Napakatagal na natin na pinupush dito sa Pilipinas, sa Congress, pero hanggang ngayon ay hindi pa siya nagkakaroon ng katuparan. But of course, we have to really go on with the ano ba yung dapat na mangyari dito sa bill na ito. Yung context of the debate kasi, pag sinasabi natin na divorce, ang dami nang nagsasabi na of course dapat talaga lalong-lalo na yung mga biktima ng karahasan, ng napakahirap na pagsasama, Ang daming mga cases niyan actually dito sa Pilipinas. But of course, meron tayong dalawa, pro at saka yung ayaw naman sa ating divorce. Ano ba yon? So, pag sinasabi nating pro, yun ay yung mga usually yung mga nagpo-push nun is yung mga kababaihan na mga biktima, no, ng karahasan or yung marriage na hindi masaya. At saka yung simbahan naman, on the other hand, from the perspective of the spiritual aspect, ayaw nila ng divorce. Now, let me just deep dive into these two contexts. So maraming nagsasabi na ayaw nila ng divorce. For one reason, it is because of the spiritual perspective. When we talk about the spiritual perspective, ito yung tinatawag natin na yung mga biblical context, no? Yung mga sinasabi sa Biblia na yung kasal is, yung marriage talaga is very sacred. On the other hand, meron namang ayaw, which is the secular. No? Pag sinasabi nating ito yung secular perspective, ibig sabihin you are free. Hindi naman lahat naniniwala, no, sa Biblia. So yan yung isa sa mga tinitingnan natin na medyo napakahirap kasi on the other, sa perspective kasi ng governance, kailangan yung paninilbihan mo sa bayan, hindi mo lang tinitingnan yung religious aspect, but also tinitingnan mo sila at large. Ibig sabihin na hindi lahat ng pinagsisilbihan ng mga public officials natin naniniwala or naniniwala sa Biblia or sa spiritual aspect. No? Mayroon naman tayong mga tinatawag na mga atheist. So, let's talk about the spiritual context. For me, this is my take on that particular issue. Pag sinasabi kasi natin na we are not in favor of divorce for the purpose dahil ito ay labag sa ating paniniwala bilang isa sa mga only Christian country in Asia. Well, hindi ko naman ini-invalidate yung fact na yon, but you know, in the perspective kasi ng salvation, salvation is for me, hindi mo siya mapipilit sa isang tao na maniwala doon sa perspective mo. The Filipino people is a diverse, mayroon tayong diverse culture and at the same time orientations. And with the emergence of itong tinatawag natin ng mga gender development, so of course kinikilala natin even yung mga tinatawag na third sex. So yung LGBTQ. So with that, there is a complex, meron tayong tinatawag na complex understanding of how the society works. So ibig sabihin, sa social perspective kasi, we exist in a world wherein we are free. So we are free, ibig sabihin, you are free to exercise your religious belief, but you are also free to exercise whatever belief that you want in your life. So ito yung napakahirap kasi kaakibat doon pag sinasabi natin na freedom is, although it's not absolute, but you cannot force someone to believe in what you believe, 'di ba? So sa perspective natin, pag tiningnan natin yung spiritual aspect, ipasa man or hindi yung divorce bill, pag sinabi bang pinasa at saka lahat yung nagdi-divorce, would there be an implication doon sa spiritual aspect ng life nila? 'Di ba? Hindi na ba sila masisave? So that would be the contention. You know, the contention is that ah, whether we like it or not, meron talagang masi-save at saka merong hindi, 'di ba? So, tinitingnan ko 'yon doon sa aspeto na kahit na walang divorce, it cannot change the fact that salvation is really for those who believe in God. But how about those who do not believe in God? 'Di ba? There's still an existence of, not everyone will be saved, truly. Kasi sinasabi naman sa Biblia na those who believe will be saved. So, ibig sabihin, yung kabaliktaran noon, yung hindi mga naniniwala, hindi talaga masi-save, 'di ba? Now, let's go to the secular aspect. What is the implication if the divorce bill will be passed by both the House of Representatives and the Senate? The social plight is that in America, in other countries, usually ang nagiging reason ng divorce is yung tinatawag na irreconcilable differences. Ang ang masaklap kasi dito 'pag napasa ang divorce bill is, well, while it is beneficial for those unfortunate marriages, yung tinatawag natin na mga failed marriages, tapos yung mga may history or merong struggles in terms of abuses, I think the passage of this bill is really beneficial for those people who have bad marriages. Pero pag titingnan natin siya doon sa aspect na what would be the implication is that magkakaroon na ng konting leverage na kahit konting away lang, because we have that law that allows us to uh, declare our marriage null and void, you know, magkakaroon ng parang parang siguro konting konting ano lang, konting away lang, magkakaroon na ng parang divorce agad, tapos ano na naman, ibang just like America. Kung tingnan mo doon sa Amerika. Sa Amerika, konting ano lang, konting away lang and papalit-palit ng asawa. That's how liberated the other countries are. And given us na tayo mga Pilipino na meron din naman tayong pagka-conservative as a nation, being the only Christian in Asia, well, I think magkakaroon na ng pattern, or we will be stepping up to the point na kagaya ng ibang bansa na mga highly industrialized or yung mga advanced na mga countries. So, for me, well, I don't want to make really a stand. What I'm trying to emphasize here is that gusto ko lang magkaroon tayo ng yung idea on ano ba yung mga possible implications pag hindi napasa, at saka kung hindi or kung mapasa yung divorce bill. So, of course, there's still a lot of debates on that. Pero I think dito sa mababang kapulungan sa Kamara, it was already approved. But alam naman natin na lahat ng batas ay dadaan pa rin yan sa Senado, the upper chamber of the Congress. So, magkakaroon muna ng Senate version, at saka yung Senate version at saka yung House version, they will be i-merge sila, and then that magkakaroon pa yan ng mga debate, and after that doon na magkakaroon ng possible or approval or not approval, or para masubmit na siya doon sa executive for the signature. So, yun lang bilang isang Pilipino, tinitingnan lang natin yung ano ba yung mga pros and cons, ano ba yung mga possible implications at saka ano ba yung mga, negative, ano ba yung mga negative implications kung napasa or kung hindi. And of course, 'pag sinabi nating spiritual, ang implication lang naman dun is very, very individual. Parang parang individual yun, eh, parang risk din yun, eh, na if you go for divorce, for example, if you are a married man or a married woman and you want a divorce, and you know that, kung Kristiyano ka and you believe in that marriage is sacred, but you still want to choose to, get a divorce, you know the risk. You know, there are possibly no, physical risk, but spiritual risk. Because tayong tao, we are not only a, uh, bodily, yung pagiging tao na hindi lang tayo laman, but we also have this spiritual aspect in our lives that we have to take good care of. Now, in our decision making, we really have to, see to it that our positioning in terms of, this kind of issue should be aligned with the spiritual aspect. But on the other hand, we cannot invalidate the feeling of other people or other couples na, naghihirap din doon sa estado ng kanilang, ah, marriage. Kung nahihirapan sila emotionally, physically, or there are abuses, we cannot invalidate, those aspect in our lives, because above all, uh, we have rights. We have rights that we need to protect. But actually, for me, marriage is, for me, it's marriage is siguro kung nagiging sentro ang Panginoon sa buhay natin, I think we will have a deeper understanding about marriage and how we can survive from all the challenges. Kasi normal din naman na may mga mag-asawa na nagkakaroon ng problema. But the question is how you deal with the problem, 'di ba? And some of it are consequences also of our choices. For example, kung nag-aasawa ka rin naman ng yung umiinom, nagsusugal, yung irresponsible person, tapos at the end of the day, you gain the consequences of your choice. May mga iba-ibang instances kasi sa buhay. So, as a whole, we cannot invalidate, no, doon sa feeling. So, doon sa mga decision making. But after all, spiritually, you will be held accountable for every wrong decision making na ginawa mo sa buhay mo. Yun yung pinaka-core doon. So, ibig sabihin, while, God has given us the freedom of choice, the free will to choose, kasi alam naman natin kung ano yung tama at saka mali. Kung ano man yung choice natin sa buhay, whatever you do in life, we are still accountable to Him, everything that we do. So in the secular perspective naman, kailangan din meron din siyang benefits doon kung perspective ng isang politician, sa perspective ng isang public official or isang, representative ng sambayan ng Pilipino. Meron kasing merong burden of responsibility na nakapatong doon sa shoulder niya to really do something about the abuses, lalo na ng mga kababaihan. So, bilang isang mambabatas, karapatan ng ating mga mambabatas na gumawa ng isang measure on how to, address this, certain kind of issue. But of course, yun naman divorce. So, unang consider dyan is, kahit naman may batas na divorce, nasa sa'yo naman yun if you will. Yung gusto mo mag-avail ng leverage to have kind of yung diborsyo. So, nasa sa'yo din, ang choice din naman kung meron, at least mayroon lang measure kung how we can really address the issue. On the other hand, nasa sa'yo pa rin yun. If you still believe in the sanctity of marriage, pwede namang hindi. Diba? Ganun yung mga arguments in terms of the secular perspective, because after all, we respect the individual belief or yung paniniwala ng tao doon sa aspeto na yun. Lalo na sa pag-aasawa, sa marriage. So, yun, yung social plight lang noon, or ano ba yung magiging social dilemma is that baka maging ano siya, yung parang, well, of course, kasi meron, konting ano lang, konting away lang, may divorce naman dyan. So, okay lang. So, ganun. So, it would really open to a lot of, yung marriage na hindi masyadong, yung pwede pa naman sana i-fix yung mga problems. Tapos declare mo lang agad na reconcilable differences, ganun lang. Wala naman, kahit walang abuses, gusto lang, titingnan mo nga ngayon, ang daming artista, 'di ba? Kahit nga walang divorce, pero kung titingnan mo, andun pa rin yung pagiging, ano ba yun, may term doon, yung okay lang, andyan naman, may ano naman diyan, mayroon naman tayong mga other resort that we can do, 'di ba? So, accountability and responsibility comes with discipline. With the existence of our laws, there is also another existence of a crime. Ibig sabihin, kung walang law, walang crime, 'di ba? Kailan nagkakaroon ng crime? Because meron tayong law. So let's go back to the biblical context. Kung hindi sinabi ng Diyos na, bawal kang kumain yan. Kung hindi pinagbawal ng Diyos, hindi sa nagkasala si Adan at saka si Eva. Diba? Ganun lang yun. So, without laws, walang crime. So, the same pa rin yung perspective doon. No? Sa social implication, meron ding implication yun sa mga marriages. Kasi meron din namang mga certain experiences where marriages were fixed. No? So, depende na yun. No? So, all in all, I think, for me, whether it passes or not in Congress, it has nothing to do with how you align yourself to the will of God in your life. Kung gusto mong maging maganda yung ano mo, yung buhay mo, nasa sayo din naman yun kung i-align mo siya doon sa what God wants you to do in your life. Diba? So, I think yun yung titingnan natin, lalong-lalo na tayong mga Pilipino, if we are to support measures, especially those measures who are being filed in Congress, we are to be, diba, may mga survey naman dyan, to decide, we really have to think of the beneficiality and all aspects governed by that measure. So, tinitingnan natin yung lahat ng aspeto ng buhay natin. So, as for me, whether it passes or not, it will really have no substantial effect on your spiritual aspect, because whether there is divorce bill or not, choice din naman ng tao kung ano yung paano tayo masisave. Yung salvation kasi is binigay ng Diyos sa atin, pero hindi naman ibig sabihin nun lahat. Diba? Yun lang yung tatanggap. Yung hindi naman tatanggap, Diyos nang bahala doon. So, yun lang siguro. Maraming salamat.